Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today is. I have zero audio coming from you now.
Whoops. The people heard me, but you didn't.
Okay.
I think they heard me at least. They might not have.
So this is an odd switch because I'm the one who wasn't prepared this week.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told Pixie about that because I went out to smoke because I was watching YouTube videos with hers, and I went out to smoke while she grabbed her dinner. When you messaged, I'm like, "Oh wait, that was a thing." Shit. Oh my god.
Could have canceled and I could have gone back to watching more My Hero.
Yeah, I still need to
Oh,
watch the
I finally started watching My Hero, by the way. It's good.
it is. It gets a little weird, and a good portion of it seems like it's straight up filler because it bounces from we have a story to we're just going to focus on side characters
But that is
in
the
a manner,
story.
right? Like it's weird because like a good portion of that show, which I realize we're talking about My Hero, we will get to to Zenkaiger, but like it starts off with such a deep story with Midoriya at the start of it, and then it goes, we're gonna have a school festival tournament, but it's important, and we're gonna have training, and it's gonna all seem like filler, but it's all important. It's weird, and it's very excellently well done.
Uh, and, like, seeing everyone's character growth, just, like, I'm, like, about 30 episodes in, and, like, just the amount of character growth is astonishing.
Oh yeah, like really about the only person I've seen not get any character growth is the pervert Mineta.
Oh, yeah. How did that guy get into the hero course?
His hair sticky. I don't know.
Anyways, welcome to
Anyways,
Zenkai.
on to this glorious episode.
So, like we were talking about, we open up with Bakawatz praising Geej. Like, oh, and how was your little experiment? Did you have fun? Like, giving him, like, the nice treatment, even though he failed. And Geej
Like,
is like, hey, is it okay if I take a second turn? Oh, of course it is. Ijirude. And so Ijirude's like, here, try this gear. Geej looks at us like, oh, I can have fun with this.
and boy, does he have fun with this.
Cut to our heroes just going about their normal business when suddenly, magnets. Everything just starts sticking to them. Not just Kikanoids either, it's affecting humans as well.
So we're going to the Magneto School of Magnets. Oh god, watching this is fucking hilarious. I've been asked points of it as per certain points of the show is like, what the fuck?
Magnetic World can just
This has
magnetize whatever
been
he wants.
like we've had magnetic villains before, but they all followed some sort of rule. This one is nah, fuck it. We're gonna dick with the heroes the entire time.
The heroes can hardly change because their guns are attracted to each other. And even when they do manage to change, the magnetic pull means they can't aim for shit when they try to shoot them.
Like this has been one of the more effective monsters.
Right?
Like like because this one goes just beyond the gimmick of it of, oh well, like Mushroom World, everything's gonna have mushrooms. Or okay, that I'm sorry they just referenced one of the biggest jokes I have about this show. So that was great. Sorry.
Vashy's
Um
watching this as we talk about it, by the way.
yeah. I'm up to the fight. So um with like the fact that this monster is exceedingly effective with what it's set to do.
And so in the initial like fight, the heroes can't do anything. And so Magneto just buries them under a bunch of rubble and leaves. So when Zox shows up, he's like, "Oh, am I already too late?"
Did I miss my cue?
And he sees the others burn and was like, "What are you doing under there?"
I do like the fact that he blew it up and it all came back because it was still metal.
So they head back to the shop. I keep getting confused on what this place is.
From what I could tell, it's basically a shop front in front of a house. So
Yeah,
it's her house, but it's the front of it's
I,
a shop.
I think like specifically it's a sweet shop because they got like candy lining the walls, and the only time we've seen people order food, it was like dessert
It's like
treats,
sweets,
like
right?
Sundays. So I think it's a sweets shop. I think that's what it is. And Stacy is there. But Yachan mishears them when they say his name and goes, "Oh, your name is Satoshi?" So Stacy goes along with it like, "Yes, I'm Satoshi." And this is one of Kaito's better points. He acknowledges that Stacy isn't here to cause trouble, so he also goes along with it. Like, "All right,
Right.
we'll hear you out. What's up?"
It's like, and even Gowan kind of goes with it too, because Gowan just turns around and goes, "It's like, okay, Satoshi, why are you here?"
I just happen to be in the area, that's all. So, like, yeah, he had no idea that this was the Zenkaiger's base of operations.
They do a little bit. This is that point where, um, like in certain shows, it makes sense, and some of them play the joke up of the bad guys being very bad at recon. Like it's where I give like Power Rangers credit with like Rita knowing where they were at because she was actively following them.
Right, she spied on them with her, like, amazing telescope.
Telescope. Whereas it's like then you get like SPD, everybody knew where their base was. Like
They were literally cops, so.
right. It's like, but then you get like, the secret base ones, and it's like the secret bases make sense. This one doesn't make any sense in how they were not tracked down before now.
Remember that time
Especially
the secret base was a Pizza Hut?
that was kind of as dumb as that was, it was an effective promotion because all that show made me do was want pizza. Both that and it made me want to watch Bruce Lee movies.
So, Yachan leaves the room to get Stacy a plastic spoon because the metal one got magnetized onto the heroes. And so they have their actual conversation, like, "Okay, for real, what are you doing here?" Where he reveals, like, "I had no idea this is where you guys lived, okay?"
Like the random encounter things I've always enjoyed, where they just like run into like a villain being normal. Okay, next week's gonna be interesting. But like in Stacy's favor, a good portion of the time that they've run into him, Stacy was just off doing whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
hell, Kaito met him while he was eating takoyaki.
yeah, like most of the time he's not even causing any trouble.
He's just there.
The magnetism on the Kikai Noid starts getting too strong and attracting too many things. So they have to leave the house for their own safety. And Satoshi helps put things back where they were for Yachan.
Which I get why, and I'm mad that they kind of hit you over the head with it with watching the opening of why he misses his mommy, which is what you figured.
Right.
But the fact that it could have been alluding to like something deeper or something twisty. No, they flat out tell you during the opening.
And he can't use his real name around her because they've likely talked about their fights with Stacy. So Stacy can't be there.
The part I'm confused by is does nobody else know what the Toji Tendo logo looks like?
I mean,
because it's on the back of his jacket.
I don't think she's ever seen it. No.
You'd think that'd be something.
In fact,
to be fair, you'd think that would be something.
I don't think the Toji Tendo have paraded that around at all. I don't think that's a thing that's happened. So no, I don't think anyone knows what the Toji Tendo symbol looks like.
Well, we know one person for certain, for two people for certain.
Yeah, we know that the Zenkaigers themselves know, but I don't think anyone else knows.
But you'd think you'd give that information to the people who live in your house that know what you're doing.
I don't think that comes up. It's pretty obvious when the Toji Tendo arrive.
Yeah, that's fair. Nobody thinks of spy work. That's very bad spy work.
So, Kaito is safe because the magnetization is only getting stronger for the Kikai Noids. So the worst thing he has to deal with is Setchan gets stuck to him. Which is great for the episode.
Yeah.
Setchan gets to do field work.
Yeah, that's nice. And it makes a lot more sense than him just communicating them. And that's one thing about this show that does kind of drive me nuts a little bit is they haven't gone over there's no explanation of how Setchan's actually communicating with them. All we know is there's a base, and somehow
wireless communicators, normal stuff.
I mean, maybe they're attached to the gun. I don't.
I assumed they were, honestly. Because
I've missed when shows went out of their way to show you the communication device.
Yeah, I haven't really been bothered by it here. In fact, it could even be in their helmets for all we know.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, Magine is the first to get taken out when she gets a fridge on her back, and it's just too heavy, she can't keep running. Vroom gets, T-boned between a semi and a truck.
And delivers the best one-liner in this show.
Go on.
I'll be back. I saw that. That's why I started laughing. And that's what set me over the edge on that was just Vroom pulling a Schwarzenegger.
And then the others talk about him as if he's dead, like, oh, he was a good nerd. So that just leaves Jurin and Gowon. And then Zox's ship from space is getting pulled in. And Flint is on board like, reverse thrusters, reverse thrusters!
That was the other point that made me laugh, is that ship just following them.
And they're like, we should split up, and then they both run in the same direction.
They attended the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things.
Kaito gets an idea though. He asks Stacy for help. And I love that, like, because they're still outside the shop, he still calls him Satoshi in case Yachan overhears.
Like, it makes sense, especially given the like little explanation that Yachan gives him about how he was looking all down and all that. So you for Kaito, you had the well, he's obviously not feeling, you know, his usual self, or it can lead him to speculation of well, maybe he's unhappy with Toji Tendo,
He's not here to cause trouble.
Yeah, and clearly he wasn't there to cause trouble. Otherwise, he would have. Like it shows that while he only has one brain cell, he does have a little bit of common sense and tact, and like social understanding once in a while.
So he asks Stacy for help as they walk. Because Stacy is the only one that can help him find Magnet World. To which Stacy replies, "Why would I help you? You're my enemy. I'm trying to defeat you." Kaido's retort, "I don't care. I will ask whoever I need to for help if it means I can help."
Which in normal Sentais, this would open the floodgates to like for like a sixth ranger doing that, and then questioning, are you really on our side and all that. Is like, where's this? It just shows just how far he's willing to go to actually be helpful.
And then Zox joins in the conversation, pointing out because he was outside the sweet shop earlier, so he oversaw some things. So he points out to Stacy, "Kaido is Yachan's grandson, you know. She wouldn't like the idea that you're trying to kill him." And hits him where it hurts.
Right in that mommy complex. Like, as much as like I said previously, like it'll irritate me to have Stacy being redeemed to being a good person if it actually does go that far.
That's what
And
it's.
given Toei's track record, that's 100% what they're going for.
Yeah, like that's what it seems to be leaning towards, which I am happy because I've been wanting a 7-member team since Juoger.
Right. Like this would be fantastic because one, Stacy is a decent and engaging character. He's not somebody who exists solely for the Switch, which, let's be face it, some of them in the past, both writer and Sentai alike, literally exist just to be switched. Whereas this just feels genuine because he's being disregarded with Toei Tendo. He's being used by Toei Tendo, and he misses his mom.
So yeah, Zox blackmails Stacy into helping.
I mean, he is a pirate.
He played a win. So Stacy goes back to Toji Tendo and tells Magnet World, like, "Hey, I think they might have found a way to reverse your magnetism." "What? Really?" Not sure. You should go see for yourself." And so he does.
He sends him into a trap.
So Kaito and Zog's henshin in roll call. And Sechon is still stuck to Kaito this whole time. I love it. Like, he gets to see firsthand how they fight.
And he's also a first hand for one of the best jokes in this show.
Which one?
Oh, when they use the Sun Vulcan. That's the best joke in this show.
Meanwhile, Jurin and Gowan are still being chased by the ship. And then Jurin gets an idea, and they lead it to Magnet World.
This didn't play out the way I expected that to. I expected them to just like run past him and the ship crash into him, but
Nah,
that's not how it played out. I was a little disappointed because I just expected them to run past him from behind, and so he turns around and sees the ship and gets hit.
nope, he is smart enough to realize, like, oh, that's going to hit me. So he undoes the magnetism. Wait, shit.
Shit.
That's a bad thing.
Like it shows good thinking and bad thinking at the same time on part of the on behalf of the monster. Because yes, obviously don't want to get hit by the giant flying ship. Easiest way, turn it off. Could have done his other thing, but yeah, had to save that for the big fight.
And so, yeah, wait, what gear did they use?
Sun Vulcan, wasn't it?
Hold on, I don't think it was. No, it was 5 man.
Oh, 5 man.
So,
That was one of the earlier ones.
yeah. Uh, so, yeah, 5 man gear. Kaito uses it, and suddenly he knows. By applying heat to a magnet, its magnetic field weakens.
And everybody is shocked because Kaito is smart. The best joke in the show.
It's 5 Red's physics knowledge. He led that team because he was smart.
Which is a justifiable reason to lead a team.
And so everyone else is like, wait, weakness is heat? Alright, we got that. Zox uses his Shinken form because Fire Sword, if you've seen
Big fuck off,
Shinkenger.
big fuck off fire sword.
And for some reason, Juren can breathe fire, so let's just go with that.
And then somehow he shares that ability.
Because he uses it to ignite his weapon, and then he ignites Gowan's weapon.
Yeah, it's like it's literally like taking a lit lighter, putting against the gas lighter, and just two flames.
And so once everyone else has weakened him, Kaido goes in for the finisher with a sneak attack. Super Zenkai time!
I still don't like that finisher. I like the more physical finishers.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of the gun slash laser finisher outside of the Team Bazooka.
Although, one of my favorite laser finishers is actually from Kyu Ranger, ironically enough. All-Star Crash.
Yeah, that one is good. The true one where they surround the enemy.
Right.
Like there have been some good ones. It's just overall, meh. I'd rather see slashy, punchy, punchy.
Now it's time for the giant mech fight. So Zox hops on his ship, gets his mech ready to go, and magnets separate. Boom, gone. Off the rest of the episode.
Not something I was expecting.
This show keeps you guessing.
Right, like given the way like Sentai's track record is when it comes to the additional members, it usually takes a few episodes beyond the full debut of the mechs before some reason causes that mech not to show up. It usually never gets one shotted out of the episode until like later on.
Hell, like even I was wrong in what was going to happen next because I thought like, all right, so when they combine together, like he'll magnetize them so that they can't form, so they'll just do the opposite combinations from normal. No,
Yeah.
he charged all of them negatively so that they can't combine. Period.
Which is actually a very thought out and decent strategy. Can't wait to see how it backfires.
Hey Juran, is it me or is Magnet World's face kind of scary? Reminds me of a teacher I once had. I love their little like robo banter when they're combining together.
It's fucking great.
And like we went from them like hating
It
each
hold on,
other,
hold on. To be fair, with the combinations, it started with a kiss. Remember, it started with a kiss.
but like we went from them hating each other
Dude,
to just like this like nonchalant offhand comments about the villain while they combine.
it's it's fucking great. Like
Uh,
this is that point where Mech's having a personality makes sense. Or, in the case of like older Sentai, it's slash Power Rangers is, the snarky comments as they're jumping into their mechs. You know, the sad thing is the only one I remember is that this stereo is kicking.
so they use the fact that they are negatively charged to bounce Juran around so that he can get sword swings in while he's flying in an unpredictable manner. And so, what's up?
The gift Pixie put in chat because she's either overhearing me or watching the podcast. One of the two.
Same thing, really.
Yeah. I was not expecting the gift.
Started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this?
Smart ass.
Anyways,
But like the start of this figuring out how to fight them is like it's the most pure luck shit to figure out, but also based in science that they've been using for the entire fucking episode.
right?
Like it's great. Because I will admit, never would have thought of this. Like at all.
Excuse me.
At most, I would have tried to line somebody up in front of them and use my magnet to literally just launch them straight up at them, not play hot potato.
So the villain just gets a new idea. He positively charges himself and draws everyone in. What did that
Dumbass.
accomplish? What did that accomplish? What was your plan?
uh, he accomplished what Toei Tendo always accomplishes: incompetence.
And so their weapons are right there, so they all use their finishing move at the same time. What? Like even like Kaito and Sechan on the ground are like, I can't tell what happened. I don't know what they said.
He's just, oh, that was a thing.
But hey, Sechan got a great show for front row seats for that. Cut back to Toji Tendo, where Ichirude and Barashitara found the one thing they can agree on. Hey Geech, you fail too. But Geech responds, but I put Bakuwas in a better mood, which bought you two more time. You're welcome.
Which this is that point of both sides are correct.
Oh, and Stacy, your secret is safe. For now.
Mm-hmm. Because everybody forgets Geej watches everything.
Geech is actually keeping this place running.
Oh, 100%. Geej is the only thing keeping this place running.
Bakuwas would fail without Geech. Because if he had gotten rid of Ichirude and Barashitara, he'd have nothing.
Oh, yeah. Because he'd have done that long ago. If Geej didn't constantly interrupt that. Also, I am consistently and constantly taken aback by how big Geej is. I keep forgetting.
Right. He's huge. He's like...
He's huge.
As big as the Kikanoids are.
Like it just keeps throwing me off every time I see him flying around somebody. It's like, oh wait,
Se-
you are gigantic.
Sechon could rest on his shoulder.
I'm waiting. Speaking of, I'm waiting for Sechan to rest on Zox's shoulder.
Pirate.
Yep. And if that doesn't happen in the crossover movie, I will be very disappointed because at that point he's got six pirates to or seven pirates to chill on. Somebody will let him, and I'm pretty sure it's Guy.
Back at the shop.
I am an emotional time bomb!
My bad.
You want to run that by me again?
I am an emotional time bomb. uh,
So, all the Kikai are tired from running around with heavy metal attached to their bodies all day. Kaido isn't that tired, though. Uh, and Yachan asks him, like, hey, Kaido, about Satoshi. You were acting kind of strange earlier. Did something happen? So Kaido tells her the truth. Well, we got into a fight. A pretty big one. But if he comes back here, treat him to another Sunday. On me. Make it a good one.
like, and that continues that thread of deep down, Kaito's just a good guy.
Yep. And it's a thank you. Like, hey, you
Or,
actually
thank
helped
you for the
us.
help. Yeah,
Zox might have blackmailed into you, but I'm genuinely grateful.
like this show is absolutely hits every note it needs to hit, both within the show, within the storytelling, and then just with how the characters behave beyond the Sentai team.
Please,
Like,
I want the 7-member team, please.
and the way I want it is I want the initial, like how Zox was to begin with, that yeah, no, I'm not really helping you, but I am kind of thing. I want that to literally be Stacy. That I'm helping you under protest. I still want to punch you in the face every time I see you, but I'll help you. Like I want that type of personality for him for the majority of his time as a ranger.
And then next week is Supernatural World.
Time to call the Winchesters. I will admit, I do like the joke that they've set up for that with the invisibility, with the arrow pointing at where that person should be and is. I caught that in the preview. It was like, that's funny.
Any last thoughts on the episode?
The show continues to be amazing. Like, and it continues to exceed my expectations for what I had for this show from the start.
Right? Like,
Like, given that we just came off a very very funny satire type of show, as serious as that show was, to we're just gonna go balls to the wall on the comedy.
oh man, if this show is bad, that's fine because we just had 3 goes in a row. What was I thinking?
Right, like this is that point where you have like Toei is actually learning from the shit that's coming out,
this is
and the the viewing receptions of the show.
this is a great era for Sentai right now.
Oh yeah, if only other things were this good. Which I haven't watched the last couple episodes, so I have nothing to say on it that I haven't said already.
All right. Uh,
So real quick, go ahead because I have some slight Toku related.
well, you go first then, because what I'm gonna say isn't Toku related.
Okay. So I watched the first Rurouni Kenshin movie.
Go on.
Oh my god. Seeing the difference from him playing Deno
I knew
to
there
him
was a writer
playing.
actor in there.
Yes, it's Deno. And seeing because and knowing what happened to him because of Deno, and then seeing that shy, uncoordinated ass kid, essentially, which is the character he played, be as fucking badass as he is in that movie. Oh my god, it's like night and day. It's like I want this back for Deno.
Like he has range. Like he had to play like 5 different
Right.
personalities.
And to be fair, one of the personalities was this type of badass. Not so much sword fighting, but still this kind of a badass. Um, it's just it's so drastic of a change to see from what we remember of him as Deno, as himself, to this is night and day, and it's amazing. And I cannot recommend that movie enough. Like it's slow. It is a very slow movie. But then again, there's like 5 of them because they're like telling. Apparently, they're telling the entire fucking story fairly in depth.
At least they're getting it done.
Oh yeah, and out of the anime turned like live action movie, it's easily one of the best that I've seen. And also, there's a person in there who looks like Jino from Kamen Rider Double, who's not the detective.
Huh.
I spent the entire movie thinking he was the detective,
But it's not him.
and it's not him.
Ugh.
It looks just like him without the back scratcher, and his face is a little bit more rounder. Other than that, looks just like the man. I'm like, that's Detective Jino. No, it's not. Shit.
Alright. Live reaction time. This has nothing to do with Toku. Alright? Shut
Uh,
up and watch this.
Bring this up on my computer. So, no, I already had Discord up. What? Oh no, I already saw that. I have, as amazing as that is. So he sent me the trailer for
Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
On paper sounds amazing, and the trailer looks amazing. I have a fundamental problem with the show, with these two crossing over. Outside of the idiotic ass movies that got made, 99% of Scooby Doo has nothing to do with anything supernatural. It's all legit people being dicks.
Main series, yes, but like they usually reserve movies for those time. Well, actually, not every movie, but they have those special times where it's like, no, there was actually some supernatural shit going on.
Right. And I haven't watched a lot of the actual like animated movies. I watched a handful of them. But the ones I saw came across as just the same as the series, just an extended movie.
Okay, so spoilers for Scooby-Doo movies that are I don't
Decades
even
old.
know how old at this point. Uh, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which is one of the most famous ones. Legit zombies. Like Fred even does a little spiel about it's it's just a man in a mask. Like, hey, get the camera rolling. Like, let's get this thing off. And then he rips the zombie's head off and is like,
Okay, so the crossover makes a little bit more sense now. Because that was my whole thing is like how are you going to cross over something that has little to nothing to do with supernatural beyond, like I said, people being dicks, with something that is straight up supernatural. And also, I don't remember Courage talking that much.
So he would get lines during the episode, not a lot usually, but he would talk. In fact, there were some episodes where he talked so much that, like, yeah, it felt unnatural because it's like I'm not used to hearing him talk this much.
Right, because you're just used to hear him making that basically his sounds that mimic words but aren't actual words. Like that's what I'm used to for Courage.
But yeah, no, there were plenty of times in the main series where he legit talked. There were times
Like
where
I knew there were, I
not
knew like
used,
the whole like the whole that's me. Like I'm used to that, or him saying Muriel.
but not even talking to Eustace or Meryl. Like he'd be talking to like whatever side character was important for that episode. Like he'd sit down and have actual conversations with them. Do you
It's been a while
remember?
since I've seen
Like
that.
there's an episode where there's a shadow ghost like haunting the house, and like at the end of the episode like he sits down and talks to it, like has a legit conversation with it, where the ghost is like all sad and depressed because his life didn't turn out the way he wanted to, and Courage gives him a pep talk of like, you know, I don't know anything about like famous stars or anything like that, but like up there in the sky, that's where the real stars are.
I need to go back and watch Courage. That
That
show
was
was
it
great.
was a hell of a show. It was
Oh
something
yeah,
else.
it 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 was great. It was funny, and it had very good important messages for kids.
Um,
Like, and they weren't even subtle with a lot of their messages. They were just flat out, no, this is the right thing. This is the bad thing.
and back on the Scooby Doo side of things, Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Basically, this olden style village is being haunted by the ghost of a witch. And so Mr. Ing shows up and solves the mystery, where it's like, no, it was some of the villagers just pretending. Like they find like all the man in the mask stuff, like the wires and like how they faked magic and all that stuff. Like, but then like a warlock or whatever summons the actual witch's ghost.
Yeah, I've not watched a lot of Scooby Doo movies. Apparently, I mean, to be fair, I fully checked out when they crossed over with WWE.
Well, you
That
didn't
is
like
when I
John Cena memes?
I just don't like John Cena anymore. But like, what to me, once they cross over with that, is like, nah, I'm out.
Like I
I
checked
can't do
out
this
before
anymore.
then, but I still love Scooby Doo. I think
Oh, I still love Scooby Doo.
the last Scooby Doo movie I watched was Vampire Rock, where basically there's a music festival being held at Vampire Rock, and so like uh this previous band that like lost the festival turned into vampires and are kidnapping like any of the other performers at the festival. But then at the end, you find out that like they were faking it the whole time just to get the other competitors to leave, and were like they'd take them away, but then like behind stage they'd like pay them like here, go home, so that
That's funny.
like they'd be the only band left and would win by default.
By default, that's funny. But I was like, I truly haven't sat down and watched a Scooby Doo movie since the second actual Scooby Doo movie.
Tell you what, if you want to watch a legitimately good Scooby Doo movie, like uh Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, like those are two tried and true classics. People like them. If you want to watch a drug trip, watch Scooby Doo meets Kiss.
That alone sounds like you took drugs just to say that phrase. Which
Yeah,
the sad thing is, I know that's a movie that exists.
but I haven't even told you about the magical girl transformations that Kiss does.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go watch an Ashton Kutcher this week. So
There are other good ones than that, but those are the ones that like stick out in my mind.
um, but yeah, back on the slight Toku conversation. I found Ultraman the anime,
Which one?
Gridman.
Uh, I'm not familiar with that one.
So its actual title is SSSS Gridman. Basically, this kid ends up with amnesia, ends up finding a computer that only that there's something inside of it talking to him. He's the only one who can hear it, see it. He keeps seeing giant kaiju, um, like clouds and stuff like that. And then kaiju ends up attacking. He ends up getting sucked into the computer, talks with Gridman, becomes Gridman, gets ejected back into the real world gigantically, and the first finisher he uses. I'm sorry. And that's how he transforms too. It is 100%. It's that meets Power Rangers. Because a couple episodes later, he gets a giant sword. Or the next episode, he gets a giant sword. And then the episode after that, he gets the giant tank arms, like attachments. So it's like it just combines with more shit. And I'm like, this is fucking Ultraman the anime. This is what Netflix wishes they made. Because I'm only a handful of episodes into it, and it's very intriguing and interesting with how the world is set up. But it was one of those, like, I saw that, and then immediately went, no, fuck Netflix.
Real
And
shit.
apparently there's another world in the SSS world that eventually Gridman's going to cross over with. Which apparently is ongoing, but Crunchyroll decided not to put it on their stuff. It's probably on Funimation, so I'll have to go check that. Apparently, it's the only other place.
Alright, so thanks for joining us tonight, everybody, and we'll see you next time.